A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just do it. Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. Yeah. Let's just
do it. Is this the... All right, this is the intro? I can't remember. There it is.
Sure.
From the creators of the video game podcast, Famicom Dojo,
They still make that?
and the enthusiastic support of the Nerd and Tie Network,
Yeah, do whatever you want.
comes a podcast about the single most important question in human history.
What is the meaning of life?
Will I ever find love?
Can God create a rock so big even Pumpkin Man cannot
How
lift
can
it?
I find fulfillment?
What happens after you
Does this look infected to
Is there
you?
such a thing as karma or fate?
What is true?
Have you guys seen my keys?
What should I be watching on TV? Every episode of Two Boobs Watch the Tube, Vinnk and his best bra, Sean Orange, take a shallow dive into a current or retro TV show. Will they love it?
I guess.
Will they hate it?
No one-
Will they fight about it?
No one cares.
Did Sean even watch it?
No,
Is Vinnk still listening as Sean talks about Transformers?
definitely not.
These questions and more will be answered on Two Boobs Watch the Tube.
That's still a great intro. Still
Isn't
a
it,
great
though?
intro. Gosh, they still make that? Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, I just have to real quick. I just need to. Sorry, new hand. And this new hand, it's a fighting hand.
Nice. New teeth. That's weird.
I had to do another Doctor Who outfit today. I couldn't just wear
Yep.
the Tom Baker one again.
Nope.
Two Doctor Who podcasts in a row. So
Oh, come on.
instead,
Come on. You need. Yeah, I didn't wear my Paul McGann sweatshirt today. But anyway,
no
yeah, go
Miles
ahead.
either.
That's right. Gosh. I mean, he should have accepted my proposal to start a new podcast. As a companion to Casual Trek.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh,
I was going to be anything but casual, hardcore Who. So
that's
like,
right.
yes. But
He might have to get a divorce if that happens. I believe something along those lines. I don't know. There are reasons. There are things he could say, but I don't know. So Vinnk, why don't you tell me what you watch? What you really, really watch?
well, I'll tell you what I watched. What I really, really watched.
It never gets old.
No, never. No, I'm sure it never gets old. I have been very busy the last couple weeks because I just presented at an expo in Fukuoka, a teaching expo. So like, I've been very, very busy getting that kind of things prepared. But in between, I've been kind of into some anime. Yeah, it's been a while. We are watching from week to week. We're watching Spy Family right now, which if you haven't heard of it, it's on Netflix, and I highly recommend it. It's really good. And my kids have been watching one called Dr. Stone. It's I prefer other shows that start with Doctor, but it's fine. It's got a very dumb premise, but it works well within the dumb premise. So it's it's okay. Everyone was turned into stone because they were,
Okay.
but one very smart high school student reawakened because he kept his consciousness for like 3,000 years by counting the seconds or something. And he's like a super smart person,
gosh.
and he brings over the course of how many episodes have I watched so far? Like 30 episodes. He's gone from like from the Stone Age to like making a cell phone. So it's like but again, if you look at it like the anime version of Gilligan's Island, what's the professor making? He's making a radio out of coconuts. If you look at it that way, but it's fun. It's fun. It's more fun to watch something that you can watch with your kids. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so since they like it, and we're just watching it together. And unfortunately, I've caught up with where Netflix has subtitles available for it, but they have decided not to watch the new season because they don't want to watch it without me. I'm like, you can totally watch it without me. You can totally watch it without me. Like, I'm not as invested as you guys are, but they're waiting, and that's sweet. That's sweet that they're still doing that. So, how about you? Tell me what you watch. What you really, really watch?
I watched the second season of Foundation. That's a show we haven't talked about. I feel like we should. I feel like
we really should, but I haven't watched the second season either. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know if it was coming back, to be honest, and then like they kept teasing that it was gonna drop, but didn't give us a date. And then it was just like 3 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't know. So I actually watched this a while ago, but we didn't do a podcast for a bit, so now I feel like I gotta talk about it. But suffice to say, I did not like where it was going because it felt like it was sort of backtracking on some of the themes that it established in the first season about like they were like trying to make like Harry Seldon versus the Empire, the Trinity of Emperors. You got to watch the first season, but like, there was some subtle commentary about like one person controlling the destiny of civilizations and whatnot, and it felt like they were going against the grain on that. You have to get near the end, and they're not. But I got real salty about it for a while because it wasn't really obvious. And then also kind of like the first season, there's some like timeline shenanigans going on. Like you don't know where the different parts of the stories are lining up. And then by the end you do know, which is very similar to how The Witcher does its storytelling, which I kind of enjoy.
Okay.
But it can also get a little ponderous. I don't know. I enjoyed it by the end, but I'm still questioning some decisions. But apparently from people who've read the Foundation novellas, it is pretty well following the general trajectory of the stories with certain characters. Yeah. So I didn't know. I never read them. Yeah, so I didn't know how far afield it ended up being.
Sometimes you got to wonder what is just the source material, that they're going off of, and what is their own. So but oh my god, I forgot. I also watched the first 5, which is maybe almost all of them, of Upload season 3.
I'm about as far as you. I did not finish season 3 yet either, and so far, I mean, we reviewed season 1 on this show and not season 2 yet. Just general temperature check, how you feeling?
It feels like a slight, it feels kind of like a different show. It's like the characters are there, but their motivations seem a little bit different. And maybe we can talk about that more later. I'm still very entertained by it. There are moments there, but some of it is like, I'm not sure why characters have made these particular decisions. Going with the character themselves. And I liked where it was going season 2, and I just don't know if it's fulfilling on those promises. But I mean, hopefully now that the strikes are over, there's more chance that these shows will be coming back. And they're, and we can probably talk more about that when we go into Upload again, which I hope we do. I hope we revisit that.
Sure.
Anything else I've been watching? Not really. I have been thinking of starting a number of different Apple TV shows. Oh, I watched the first episode of what's it called? The one with the scientist who cooks. Something chemistry. So Lessons in Chemistry.
Oh yeah, I'm very curious about that.
As a period piece, I get very, very strong Queen's Gambit vibes from it.
Sure.
And kind of the quirky character in vintage setting. Is this a documentary or is this entirely new? That vibe. So yeah,
Okay.
I've only watched the first episode because I decided that one might be one that I'm going to watch with the wife. So I
Okay.
stopped watching it because we watched Queen's Gambit together and we enjoyed that.
Sure.
So all right.
Notably, I haven't been watching the 4th season of For All Mankind yet, and it's just mostly because I've come off of other shows. I'll talk about that next episode, but I need to watch that. Now that's a show that I would love to talk about on this podcast, but I don't know if you've watched the 1st season yet.
I've watched half of the first season.
Oh.
Well, actually, now I probably will get through it because
Okay.
every time, like for the first time now in almost 5 years, I'm going to be seeing my father and mother. They're coming up to Japan over Christmas. So
Awesome.
I'm very much looking forward to it. And like every time they visited, we've always watched a show. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like in the evenings.
Okay.
And like last time it was season 1 of C. That's how long ago it was.
Oh no, that's our premiere episode of this show. Oh no.
Exactly. And like we watched the Lost in Space reboot one year, and we watched,
was very good.
so I thought this one would be a fun one for us all to watch together because they like, my dad saw the moon landing when it actually happened. So like I think he might like this alternate history one, and I think it's got enough interesting characters that my mom would watch it too. So like. So we're going to give that one a shot if they like it. And if not, I'll watch it independently. But I thought that'd be a fun one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So what are we watching? What are we talking about today, though?
What are we talking about today?
Who knows?
Who indeed? So November 23rd, 2023 is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. And if somehow you don't know this already, there's a trio of specials that are starting to air the Saturday after that, so the 25th. Yep. The 23rd happens to be Thanksgiving in the U.S. this year, so not that day, but it's also on Disney Plus, and also David Tennant is back as the Doctor.
And that's why today is Tennant Fest.
Oh yes, part 1 of 2.
Part 1 of 2. Yes.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about his initial run in Doctor Who in 2005, 2009-ish, Christmas 2005. Hence my outfit. That was his premiere episode was a Christmas special, which became a staple during the Russell T Davies and the other guy, Moffat era. Before Chibnall went, no, we'll do New Year's. But can you believe that? Well, first, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okay.
Like this guy, let's set the stage. Eccleston, 1 season, done.
Yep.
We're already getting a new Doctor. Can the show that barely had time to spread its wings survive a change in its lead character so quickly?
I totally believed it would. I think
you were a better man than me. I was like, oh no, it's tanking. It's gonna take a nosedive.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of people who did abandon ship after season 1 or whatever. One of my good friends, Mark, dropped it after because David Tennant took a bit. If you're used to Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant is a very different flavor of Doctor.
Yes. Yes.
But he brought back for me the idea of kind of a whimsical, a bit more childlike, a little less broken, like his first thing, like that first Bart where he was like, wow, new teeth, that's weird. I'm like, I like this guy. Show me more of this guy.
Where was I? Barcelona.
Yeah.
Just not missing a beat. Fantastic.
Just wonderful. So like, and then I was excited and again looking back on the run of Christopher Eccleston, like which we did in a previous episode. It wasn't as bad as I had remembered. A lot of the gripes have kind of smoothed over the years, but like for me, David Tennant was like a return to form of what like I kind of expected from Doctor Who. A little, a little, the character was a bit hyperkinetic, but in a more predictable sort of way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like Christopher Eccleston,
He still runs.
Yeah,
important.
I know, but like Christopher Eccleston was like, wow, this is fantastic! Whoa, look at me, I dance. All my family are dead. It's a very, it's very. It was like, it was a little, erratic, and like when you go through and you find out more of the history of the Time War, then like in retrospect, it makes a lot more sense.
Sure.
You know what? Why he was so broken and things like that, but like. But I don't know. I found David Tennant to be just like lovable from the beginning, and it helped that I had seen some of David Tennant's other stuff.
Oh, I didn't see Casablanca, not
Casanova.
I knew I was going to screw that up. I didn't see Casanova until after this. So
well, I watched it when he was announced. When he was announced, I'm like, oh, okay, I should find this and watch this. And it was great, and I was watching it, and I'm like, yeah, this guy could play the Doctor.
Okay, this is kind of like how I watched Sex Education after I heard Ncuti Gatwa was cast.
Same.
So,
why haven't we done an episode on that?
That's a great question. I'm only on season 2 right now. Man.
Okay.
Like
it's good.
Gillian Anderson's in that.
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot of good younger people, and I say that as someone who is realizing he's aging. I mean, this show aired. I mean, this season that we're talking about aired almost exactly 18 years ago.
Yeah,
which is hard to believe. I remember when this was new. It's like, yes, finally new Doctor Who, and now it's like around the 14th season. Sorry, season 1 of New Who.
Oh yes, because we're starting over, aren't we?
We are starting over.
You know what?
It makes sense because you can't put it on Disney Plus and have it be like season 14. It's like, well, where's seasons 1 through 13?
Where's the rest of it? Yeah.
It's still on Max, aka HBO Max, aka not HBO. The Max, the one to watch for HBO.
Yeah. Oh, also when it comes to like the Doctor Who connections with Sex Education, it goes farther than that too. The one who played what was the character's name in Sex Education? Emily Sands, I think, one of the teachers.
Oh.
Whatever, the one of a slight Asian complexion or whatever. Rakhi Thakrar. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. She plays one of the teachers on that show. It was a kind of important character as kind of like a mentoring character.
I don't remember.
Well, she was gonna fail the main character, but then at the end kind of recommends her. You might. Okay, never mind. You might not be as far. But anyway, she is a huge player in the Doctor Who audio dramas. She was one of the main characters in the whole Time War audio series. She played a character called Bliss in like the Big Finish productions.
Okay.
So that's like the it's the Paul McGann, like 8th Doctor, and her character is the main companion. And it's going through his time with the Time War.
Okay. Awesome.
Have you heard the rumors that there might be an 8th Doctor spinoff? I don't know.
I don't believe it, but I would love that.
I don't believe it either. Yeah.
I would. I mean, like jumping ahead or behind. I mean, compared to where we are now, that was like stuff they did around the 50th anniversary special, like in the Matt Smith stuff.
But there's so much material already there, because if they take the Big Finish stuff, which was often written by a lot of the original Doctor Who contributors, you've already got 4 seasons, right there,
Sure.
And it's. I don't think you've heard any of it, but it's very, very interesting because he plays very much someone who's trying desperately to avoid being part of the Time War. Because the 8th Doctor's character is basically a pacifist. You know what I mean? So and like
Coward
that's why.
Any day. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why he became the War Doctor in the whole. In the whole thing, because he needed a tougher persona. Let's let's go back to
Let's rewind it a little bit. Yeah.
rewind.
So David Tennant slept through most of the Christmas Invasion, like as a character, like literally.
Yep.
Very, very John Pertwee of him to do. But like a weird introduction. I did not know how I felt about it, but I think his first of 3 full series and then a series of specials, like completely assuage any reservations I might have had. So like the first episode, we get new Earth. Which is the first alien planet we've gotten to visit since Doctor Who started. It was always centered around Earth in that first season. Like really, not really any aliens except for the Daleks. And the Doctor himself, of course. But like everything, even the other aliens we saw in like the end of or whatever the second episode was called, were all like sprung from Earth and had come back.
Sure.
Right. So now we're really doing things that, as a longtime Doctor Who fan, I was hoping we'd get to. Other planets, other aliens, more Rose.
Less Cardiff.
Less Cardiff.
less Cardiff.
But this season, this first season also, his first full season also launched Torchwood. There were so many tie-ins.
There was so much.
It was more the second, but by the end, like they were gearing up towards the first proper, not canceled spin-off of Doctor Who called Torchwood.
Yep. I mean, Russell T Davies coming up with basically the idea of a cinematic universe before that was really a thing is kind of cool.
There were no Marvel movies at this time.
Yeah.
Right? Like there had been a Hulk movie, I think, but it wasn't like part of a grand plan. Even the second Hulk movie with Ed Norton kind of got retconned into the whole thing. It was really Iron Man that started it.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it's the idea of like during that time, you've got the Torchwood spinoff, you've got of course Sarah Jane Adventures coming a little bit later or whatever, that all tied in together. I quite enjoyed Torchwood. Yeah. It was definitely like, we're edgy because we're edgy, for part of it, but like once it kind of got over itself and started focusing a little more on the storytelling rather than the like shock value of it's Doctor Who, but there's like blood and swears. It's like, but once they got past that, there's some really good storytelling going on.
And the people who like dislike Chris Chibnall's run on the show point to that, because he was the principal showrunner basically. Exactly. On Torchwood, at least to start with.
Yeah.
And like you see stuff lately, we're gearing up for the 60th, and it's like it's Chibs and Moffat and RTD all hanging out together, and it's like, when are you going to undo the Timeless Children? And he's like, I'm not going to do that to my buddy Chibs. It's just like, they're all family here. This series has been in pretty tight hands for the last 20 years. So
before we go, I mean, just since you brought up the specials again, I am wondering if I'm going to watch them right away.
Oh,
because I have not watched any of the previous era. I still have one season of oh my goodness, Doctor.
Which one?
12th.
Oh, Capaldi.
I've still got one season of Capaldi to go, and I've still got. I mean, I'm up right now to the Husbands of River Song.
Have you seen it, or are you just starting it? Or
we're going to watch it tonight.
Okay. I wish you good fortune, sir. I will say nothing else.
Okay.
Please enjoy.
Okay. All right. Yep. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it tonight. So we've hit the end of that.
Okay.
That's like a special, I think. I don't think it was part of the season.
It's a Christmas. It's a Christmas special.
Okay. And then we've got one season to go, and then I've got my DVDs for the next Doctor, but like we're not gonna get through it before the specials happen. And I just so far my daughter, whose favorite Doctor is Dave Tennant, who's upstairs 6, I'm gonna talk. She doesn't know he's coming back.
Oh,
It hasn't been spoiled for her,
Sure.
but the moment it comes on Disney Plus, I'm guessing it's over. I'm guessing it's.
yeah.
So I was really trying to get her through all of it before that point, but like, yeah, I think unless I remove the Disney Plus app from the TV.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there won't be anything really on there until like Saturday, right?
Yeah, okay.
don't
I just got to finish four seasons of Doctor Who before then.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure you'll do fine.
Yeah, but anyway, but like yeah,
There's a lot to talk about, like how can
Yep.
David Tennant even
Yep.
come back? Why is he coming back? They're calling him the 14th Doctor. This
Yep.
being the 10th. And if you know anything about the lore of the show, especially at this point, like Time Lords have 12 regenerations, so
Yep.
13 lives, and then that's it. So
no, it's a timeless. Children threw that all on.
Yeah. But like, you know, at this point in the story, it's like we're nearing the end. Like there's a very good chance that we're gonna hit the limit in this new iteration, and we do, and we exceed it. But so like if anyone's like coming into this, or maybe they dropped off. Like my wife hasn't watched since Matt Smith stuff because it got real creepy.
I mean, I dropped off, you know.
I mean, fair enough. But this first series that Tennant does lays a lot of groundwork. We mentioned Torchwood. You mentioned Sarah Jane Adventures. Sarah Jane comes back in the episode School Reunion, like kind of like Boom Boom, like Tooth and Claw.
Right. That's right.
Introduces Torchwood as like something that Queen Victoria establishes after meeting the Doctor, and she's so good. The woman who plays her is so good. And like Rose is trying to get her to say she is not amused the entire episode.
Yep.
And Victoria just stared at her every time.
Yep.
Like it's so good. And it's sort of implied that, you know, the Lore family are werewolves, hence the hemophilia.
Yep.
You know what?
Yep.
Let's not worry about it. But the next episode is about vampires, more or less. And Sarah Jane comes back, and that's the first time we get an acknowledgement of the old classic series of any kind.
Yep.
And then, of course, Sarah Jane, K9 is in it.
Oh yeah, and then of course Buffy fans will notice what is it? Anthony Stewart Head, who is also in Sex Education. Look at all these connections.
I don't think I've seen him in that show yet. Yeah,
He's the principal.
Is
in
he?
every episode.
Sorry, I keep thinking Ted Lasso, and I'm confusing the two.
No,
because he's
fine.
very good in Ted Lasso.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Boy.
Oh wait, maybe I'm confusing my shows. Hold on, that's definitely. Well, he's definitely in Doctor Who, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
And he's maybe in Sex Education. I can't remember.
Playing maybe a.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I mean, the Tooth and Claw episode starts something. Well, maybe it happened the previous season too, but it starts a thing where they take these historical moments or these oddities and they put a Doctor Who spin on it. So it's like, you know, basically making fun of the royal family for inbreeding. That's
sure. And they did. I mean, you know, then you've got the Unquiet Dead, which is how Charles Dickens started telling ghost stories because you know, they. I mean, Doctor Who's been doing that since the beginning. Like Doctor Who started like the Fire of London and stuff because he was trying to destroy some lizard people. You know, so like, So like, I mean, you know, that's always kind of been a little bit of a Doctor Who thing, and it's strongly implied that the Doctor is Merlin as well in like a lot of the Arthurian legend.
That reminds me, like the end of Lung Barrow, where like the Doctor's like, oh, well, you know, we can't die or whatever. Like it's not the end because I haven't been Merlin yet. No, so it's fine. It's like, no, that doesn't work that way. That's not how the show works anymore. you can't guarantee those things. I don't know. Anyway, Girl in the Fireplace. What's that? Lung Barrow's a novel. Okay, I don't want to get us too far afield.
No. I was wondering if it was one of the ones that was adapted into an episode.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Okay, no, I used to read the novels, like
Okay.
like a lot of them, but some of them did become episodes, like
Sure.
what was the really good Paul Cornell one where we'll talk about it soon, A Family of Blood and
Oh, yeah. Yep.
yeah, that. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to that season. But
Yeah.
you're so going back to just a minute. I'm gonna throw that season up on there. I'm going to throw up all over that season. Okay. Tooth and Claw. Tooth and Claw was an episode that I didn't actually enjoy very much.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I hated it when I first watched it, but like
Yep.
upon rewatching it to prepare for this
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
I really enjoy it now.
Okay. Okay. I mean,
It's all the historical stuff, all the non-action things,
Yeah.
like that diamond that went missing.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing with like the werewolves being aliens, really. Like
Yeah.
it was, and there were some really interesting ideas. The effects were bad. The
Yep.
bad guy was kind of bad,
the
but
monks were in there for some reason.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like in retrospect,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying how much Rose in this season
Yeah.
gets to showcase how her time with the Doctor has really changed her. And
Yeah.
that comes
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
play more in the middle and back half of the season.
Sure.
But like at this point, especially when they're being so mean to Mickey,
Yep.
and he gets to become a companion, which I did not expect after
Yep.
he was like a joke in that first episode.
Yep.
It's like something similar happens later in Smith's era with Rory.
Sure.
But
sure.
but yeah, I like really just watching after years of like retrospect how much he like takes charge and knows what to do in the situation, has a lot of confidence.
Yep.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah. New Earth, I also didn't really care for.
Oh, sure.
I thought
He has every disease in the world. It's like, oh God, that's so stupid.
Yeah. So how do we resolve this episode? We throw every medicine in like a shower or something. It's, I loved Cassandra coming back. I thought her
Yep.
arc was very nice.
Billy Piper playing Cassandra, also very
Exactly.
good. Just
very, very funny. I enjoyed that, but like it was just one of those wacky episodes that like I don't know. But you brought back the face of Bo, which didn't really pay off there, and like there's a lot going on.
There's a prophecy that
Yeah,
he will
yeah, yeah.
he will speak his last words, and he'll know what it means. But
Exactly.
I think at the end of that episode, it's like we'll meet one more time yet. I think.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they hadn't had their final
no.
meeting yet.
No, because they. Oh wait, is their final meeting in Gridlock? No, because they
Yes,
meet
it
in
is
Gridlock.
It is Gridlock.
Is that their final meeting?
Yes. That's the one. Yes.
Okay.
Because they come back to New Earth. Spoilers.
Yep.
That one's
Oh, yeah,
with
you're right,
Martha,
you're
I
right.
think. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's keep on this season. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Girl in the Fireplace is another
The best episode.
Yeah, another
Just-
Moffat banger.
Oh.
So this is
good.
where I got to mention again
Yep.
that Moffat loves The Time Traveler's Wife, the book,
Yep.
and he got to do one season of that show on HBO before they canned it and then wrote it off for the tax money. And now you can't watch it.
Yep.
And all through that season, he reminded you how he used to write Doctor Who, and
Yep.
the whole thing with River Song. Spoilers. Also was clearly based on this book, and this episode's like a mini condensed version of that idea, but with Madame de Pompadour.
I mean, first of all, and I mean, this probably goes without saying, but that woman was gorgeous, just
Oh, of
beyond.
course.
Like, I mean, that's the first thing that's going to bring you to it. But then beyond that, the story is so touching and
So
moving
heartbreaking.
and heartbreaking. And speaking of hearts, there's that whole ship that's got human body parts all over it. So you've got the B plot, which is nuts, and then like
Yeah.
they're like you've got Mickey and Rose like on the ship, like freaking out because they've discovered that like it's being rebuilt with human organic parts, and then you got the Doctor stumble drunken and pour some wine on a robot to save the day. It's so good. It's so good.
It really introduced a lot of the timey-wimey stuff that Moffat during his time as showrunner is definitely going to abuse. But I enjoyed it. What can I say?
And maybe not used enough, but the clockwork robot villains, fantastic. And are they the same ones that are used during Capaldi's era, his first episode? Are they connected or are they different?
They are either referenced or it is heavily implied that they are some of the robots that are being attracted to this idea of a heaven.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But so, anyway,
you're not wrong. No.
Okay.
No. It does come back. There are so many good episodes this season. We're not going to get to them all. Just watch it.
But
the thing that grinds my gears the most about this is because the show had the foresight anyway to like head off at the pass the knowledge that Billie Piper was going to leave the show, right? Like it was in the press. They had to film the stuff ahead of time, so there was a ton of misdirection throughout this season about she's going to die. Like someone prophesized like this Satan basically, who they run into on the impossible planet orbiting a black hole. Two-parter, pretty good. I want to say has the woman who plays Tisea in The Witcher, speaking of The Witcher again, as one of the crew. I love me a space station story. A little bottle episode about like people trying to survive. Like there's lots of that in Doctor Who, and especially this run. But by the time you get to the end two-parter, I was over it. I'm like, we get it. You're leaving the show. Stop jerking us around. There's this whole narration of Rose Tyler saying, "This is where I died." And I'm just for the love of, it's complete misdirection. She doesn't die, guys. Spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Army of Ghosts and Doomsday is a very powerful episode, especially if you were very fond of the Rose character, which personally, I enjoyed Rose, but I wasn't as enamored as I think the overall fan base was with her.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine. Different people like different people like different things, but like I don't know. Those two episodes were amazing just in the let's bring everything back all at once. And there's some amazing lines because can I spoil that? Is that okay? This is 18 years ago. Can I spoil this?
We're going to go over so much stuff. There's no point in throwing spoiler sections in the middle of it. Just go for it. There's Daleks in it, okay? And Daleks and Cybermen has been a dream for many fans for many years. But they never could appear before because the creators of those different ones had different rights to it. And like Terry Nation, who owned the Daleks, would be the only one who could decide what happened in a Dalek episode. And so there'd never been this crossover. And it has one of the most amazing lines ever, or whatever, when the Dalek and the Cybermen are talking, and there's like there are 1 million of us Cybermen and there are only 4 of you Daleks. Do you think 4 Daleks can defeat 1 million Cybermen? And it's like 1 Dalek could beat 1 million Cybermen. Whatever. Right. It's like there's only one thing you're better at. You are better at dying. It's just like it's so good.
It's like there's so many really good lines in it. Before we move, but frankly, there was a lot of Cybermen in this season. And if you didn't like the Cybermen, this is not your season. And if you love the Cybermen, this was your season. There's 4 Cybermen episodes.
There's a whole 2-parter about it from an alternate universe. And the only reason that they introduced the Cybermen this way, I'm pretty sure, is to set up the end for Rose leaving.
Exactly.
Because that's where she ends up, is in this alternate universe that you technically can't get to under normal circumstances.
That has everything she's ever wanted in it, including later on another.
We'll not go there yet because spoilers, guys. We're going to see Rose Tyler again before we're done talking about this episode.
Okay. I got to mention before we move on. Yep.
Love and Monsters.
I was just gonna say, what do you like Love and Monsters? Do you hate Love and Monsters?
I like Love and Monsters. I kind of wish we had Miles here because he also likes Love and Monsters. I forgot about all the ELO references.
Yep.
B,
Yep.
where they put it, it was a perfect palate cleanser for all the serious garbage.
Okay. All right. Love and Monsters is a wonderful episode that pokes fun at its own fan base that just happens to unfortunately have the worst Doctor Who monster ever. And I think it's proof positive why we don't let children design Doctor Who monsters.
The Absorbaloff from the planet Crom. The sister planet
it
of
was funny. I mean, it was, that line was funny. No, I'm in the sister
Crom.
planet. What's the Crom? But it's so
Crom.
dumb. It's just so dumb. But like the idea of like a group of people who come together because they love the sightings of the Doctor, like a bunch of fans, and then they develop little romances, and then they, it's
Moaning Myrtle's in
lovely.
it.
Moaning Myrtle's in it. She's wonderful in everything. It's Doctor Who's first really, really blatant oral sex joke.
Oh God, I will say though, like the whole thing, her last line, not her last line, but when she realizes she's going to be absorbed by the Absorbaloff, spoilers, I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
And she says, "Oh Elton, I only regret that you never got the chance to touch me or kiss me or whatever." I'm just like, that would not be, this is his telling of the story, right? So I don't think he's a reliable narrator at all. That would not be her last thought.
No. But anyway, I mean, it's a dumb episode,
It's so
and
dumb.
it's a throwaway episode. Rose and the Doctor are only in it like doing the corridor gag from like Keystone Cops episode. It's like,
So funny. They had like a bucket of water, right?
yeah. But the thing is, I kind of like episodes where the Doctor and the companion aren't very involved. I mean, I loved Blink. A Sweet Quiet Death is my favorite episode of a Mythic Quest, and that's one that doesn't really feature any of that. I like those episodes.
Those are very good.
They can be very good, and it worked. Unfortunately, it just got so dumb. It got bogged down with how intensely dumb it was, but I still love it. And my kids liked it. It's a fun episode. You've got to go in and be like, you know what? Let's just pretend that this is all a fever dream and just enjoy it. And then you're okay.
Yeah. So we have the next series where we introduce Martha Jones, and like really in retrospect, right?
Yep.
You got to give Billy Piper and Rose a lot of credit for probably being the one to hold the show together over that.
Oh,
transition.
definitely.
I mean, that was certainly the case in to transition previous Doctors, but like in this revival, like Rose leaving was a big deal because it's like people were watching for. She was the character, like the audience insert character, right? Well, and now we got to have a new one.
Yep. I mean, when my kids were watching it, and the Peter Eccleston, who's the only Doctor they'd seen, was going away, Rose was the thing that kept them wanting to watch the next season. So yeah.
And she just going back real briefly to the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit.
Yeah.
I forgot about her B plot in that, where she like led half the team and she was like the doctor for them.
Yeah.
Like she was on it. She was confident and occasionally made mistakes, but like she had become very much like the Doctor at that point, and now you have to start over with someone else, and the Doctor's all sad and sullen. He's already like sad about his planet, but now it's like, Rose Tyler, and then God. Yeah. So how
should finish a sentence. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Just once in his life.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very long life.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Martha? Oh boy.
I feel that no, like I think Martha was a very well thought out character who was underutilized.
Oh,
Does that make sense? Like
100%.
I would say that
100%.
when I saw Smith and Jones, I was very excited about how this character was going to be. She showed a lot of competence, a lot of, it was just, and unfortunately they turned her into the rebound girl.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
like she was clearly into the doctor, he clearly wasn't. Now, if they would have had Rose to be a companion like some of the later companions that had no romantic interest whatsoever, who just wanted to see adventure,
Yeah.
I think Martha Jones would have been remembered as a better companion.
Yeah.
But as it comes on, she just feels like a character that's being gaslit the whole time. Do you know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
And like she, I understand that the doctor doesn't always understand human emotion or whatever, but like it's very obvious what's going on, and you start to kind of feel sorry for her, and unfortunately that weighs down the rest of her stuff. She is a member of but like the Martha, this season was a fantastic season, but like I don't know if it was. It was fantastic, and it had Martha in it, but not many episodes were fantastic because of Martha, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I want to say. Yeah. Oh shoot, I'm scrolling through it.
Yeah, Human Nature, Family of Blood, though she was fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
She was used perfectly.
Two-parter for those who are curious.
Written by Paul Cornell, one of the best writers of the New Adventures novels. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say, talk about the timey-wimey. Smith and Jones. Her first introduction to the doctor is him just randomly walking down the street, handing her his tie and saying like this, and then just walking off. And you're like, what does that mean? You don't find out until near the end of the episode that he has to prove to her he's a time traveler.
Yep.
And he goes back and does that, and like she's like, "Oh, that was you," because when she meets him again, he has no idea who she is. It's like, we just met in the street. He's like, "Well, things happen to me out of order sometimes," or maybe he didn't actually say that this time, but he said that before. He will have said that then. Whatever. Tenses are hard in time travel.
Yeah.
But good introduction to the concept. If this is like a jumping on
very
point for
good
people.
Yeah, very, very nice. And like unfortunately that level of competence would only be seen in a few other episodes, which is kind of unfortunate. But I will say again, just to back to your thought on Martha, she is one of the only companions that really truly left on her own terms. Do you know what I mean? And
yes, like she was barely on in the first place, right? Like he promised her one trip.
Yep.
And then it became more than one trip. And it was very, how do you say it? Like, clearly she's going to be on the show for the whole time, but like just watching it as like a story, it doesn't evolve the same way that the Rose thing did.
No, definitely not. And like, again, because some of the stories that she was involved in were so visual or so much happening, like I feel that her character was never developed as much as it could have been. Because you've got like, for Shakespeare Code was so much about Shakespeare that like she was definitely fun in there, but like, oh my god, what a fun episode! That's a fun episode.
Even the witches, another one like around a historical situation, Shakespeare's lost play. There's a reason it's lost, is because it's in a Doctor Who adventure.
Exactly.
The running gag about Queen Elizabeth starts there as well.
Yep. And I mean, I love that they insert into this play this incantation or whatever. I don't. There's a lot to like in the Shakespeare Code, and when Shakespeare's hitting on both Martha and the Doctor, they talk. What was it like? College drama professors are going to have a heyday with this, or something. I don't remember.
He basically admits that he's bi.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor always clocks those characters.
Daleks
Take Manhattan. Andrew Garfield is the character. What's the guy's name?
Oh, I don't know.
We get our first description of Gallifrey during that. Sorry, I skipped ahead to Gridlock now. Sorry. Whoops.
That's okay. Gridlock. Okay, Gridlock was an episode that I've come around to.
Oh, really?
Gridlock is an episode because the first time I watched it, I just thought it was goofy. It's like, okay,
No, you're right. I
so
agree.
Makra, like living down in the. It's like, why don't you open the gates 100 years ago? But like watching it now, it's so fun.
Yeah,
especially the scene where where he just keeps going through different levels and jumping into other people's cars, and there's all these little, I and now having worked in the same job for so many years and feeling like you're never really getting anywhere, I'm like, oh my God, it's a metaphor.
Like a lot of things that are stupid. It's like no one would be in a traffic jam for 20 years. Of course not, because it is a metaphor, even though it's like really happening in the story, right?
But like, I mean, it was I enjoyed it a lot more. Watching it now, but at the time I thought it was kind of a dumb episode, but it's still a dumb premise.
It is a dumb premise.
But if you see it as a metaphor and you just let the story have fun with itself, that's good. The Dalek story was a lot of wasted potential, I think.
Yeah, that's so weird too. Like they already like identified that like the Daleks were being reborn last season or from Eccleston season.
They do it every single season. Yeah, it's like, so.
Sorry, there's a wild reference in Gridlock about like a guy claims that a woman's head expanded to 50 feet just from breathing motorway fumes, and you immediately think that the face of Bo, and then like he's in it.
Yeah.
And then that is their last meeting, and he gives this oblique reference, you are not alone.
Wait,
play a little bit later.
They say that the fumes are what expanded the face of Bo?
No. There's just a rumor that like a guy mentioned like that a woman's.
No, but I'm saying that would explain everything.
They would explain everything.
That would explain everything. Okay, we're getting ahead.
We'll get there. We forgot to mention, I think the last season that like the Bad Wolf stuff. There's something every season. Yep. That builds toward right. So like the last season was the whole Torchwood thing. Like Torchwood was involved. Yep. In the whole Dalek invasion, Cyberman invasion stuff. They fail, right? But like they built up to that, and then the Torchwood series kind of begins from there. Sure. The woman who plays, I don't know how to say her last name, Freema Agyeman.
I'm not sure, actually.
I was going to look it up before that podcast.
That's okay. That's all right.
I forgot. But she played a character in that tower, and then she has some offhanded mention of how like her cousin Adelaide or whatever,
something like that.
Was died during that invasion. So this happens a lot in Doctor Who.
This happens a lot.
Characters show up as someone else and come back later, like
Fires of Pompeii.
Yep. That's two characters. It's Peter Capaldi and Amy. Oh my God, what's her name?
Karen Gillan?
Karen Gillan's in it. Yep.
Yeah.
She's one of like the sisters. The
she is?
The Seers. Yes. Yep.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
She was the one that was like in the
oh really?
Tracked the Doctor at first, and she reports back to the sisterhood. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
I
it just
didn't even pick. And like
we're jumping ahead again.
Even Colin. Well, let's jump behind. Colin Baker was a bad guy in a Peter Davidson episode before he became the Doctor. Yep. So happens
I think
all the time.
The same thing with Romana too.
Oh yep. She played in the what was it, the Keeper of Traken or something like no that's a different. She was a princess in the end of Romana 1, and then they're like, oh, I liked this body so much I decided what a weird that's okay. Well, that's classic Who. Anyway,
we're good. Yeah. So in this season, there's this whole thing about like the Harold Saxon thing and the new rise of the new prime minister because Martha Jones? No.
Yes, Martha Jones.
Martha Jones.
Yes.
Who am I thinking of?
Who are you thinking?
Who was the prime minister?
Who was the prime minister at the time?
Who was the prime minister in the show?
Saxon.
No, before that.
Oh,
because at the end of the whole Dalek thing, like she fired. Sorry, no. At the end of the Christmas invasion.
You know,
I feel
bad. I feel bad because her whole thing was that people go, "I know who you are, but we don't know who she is."
We can't
just a second. I'll have it. I'll have it in a second. But because I'm going through my memory banks now, not Wikipedia.
I'm looking at. Like I can think of her whole bit, but I can't think of her flipping name, dude.
Okay, hold on. Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones, thank you.
Harriet
Jones, MP Flat All North. Okay, yeah. And then Prime Minister, and then he like ends her career with 6 words. 6.
Yeah, which at the time I was like, that wouldn't happen, but now with like social media and everything,
Yeah.
But anyway, who turns out to she's gone through she's gone hero villain hero through the series, so very very neat progress from that character. 42, I had to look up what even happened.
Sure.
That's the one with the fire guy, which is a fine episode. It's not, but
another space station episode. That's the comment I left. Yeah, another space station episode.
And that's another Chibnall episode, or maybe the first one. The first one actually.
The Doctor gets so infected with the sun virus so bad he thinks he's going to regenerate and warns Martha about it.
Yep. Blink. I don't know if we need to go in about Blink because
we don't need to talk about
Blink is so good. It's introduces one of the most iconic Doctor Who villain of New Who, and probably one of the top 3 villains of all Doctor Who, the Weeping Angels. So great episode.
Unscary.
Yeah. Anyway,
we'll get there.
Sound of the Drums. Sound of the Drums, Last of the Time Lords. It's really more of a 3-parter because Utopia kind of.
Yeah, because Utopia comes first.
Yeah.
With Derek Jacobi, and I didn't understand this at first. They set him up. He like at the end of time, basically the human race has reverted to classic human form. Humans have had a lot of forms over the millennia, and you had this Professor Yana and his assistant Chantho,
played by the amazing Derek Jacobi, who we're going to talk about in our next episode, maybe a little bit.
That's right, he's in that. Yes. Oh, that's right. He's the Metatron.
He's the Metatron. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
man. Okay, but I didn't realize how much they were setting him up to be the Doctor, not like the Doctor literally, but like the Doctor.
Exactly.
And then, maybe he is the Doctor in this far-flung future. But the misdirect was deliberate because at certain points he's like, whenever he has to help people, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And it starts to get weird.
Yeah.
And it's because, do you want to say it? I don't want to say it.
It's because Yano means the final words of the Face of Bo, you are not alone. And that means that there are other Time Lords out there, including, or maybe only at this point, the Master.
Yep.
By the way, the Master has the best reveals throughout Doctor Who.
Right.
The Master just always has the best reveals.
There's one you haven't gotten to yet.
Mm-hmm. No. No. Oh, you're okay. Because I was going to be like, I know a Master reveal in Capaldi's first season, but you're referring to a different one.
Master reveal in Capaldi's first season.
Ooh, okay. Anyway. All right. Okay. Anyway. Utopia I thought was a really good episode. I really enjoyed Utopia, and I don't know. I didn't so much like the sound of the drums for the Last of the Time Lords.
I
didn't care for them.
This starts where Russell T Davies like being overburdened with too much stuff really starts to show.
Yep.
Like it gets much worse by the end of time.
Yeah.
But there were interesting ideas, I gotta say. And John Sim is the master, aka Harold Saxon. Spoilers.
Yep.
Like a manic anti-doctor, which is not really the way they've played. They've always had them be kind of like, rivals and like sparring with words and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was the first introduction of the Master, where they're just like jabbing at each other, and everyone else is like, "What are you two doing? Just kiss already!" Like, which they do finally in Capaldi's era. But anyway.
Okay.
Right?
Like I will say though, like I thought that John Sim as the Master was good, but I thought the episode in general, I don't know, it captured that manic energy. I don't know. Okay, we're in this giant floating carrier above the earth, and there's robots, and they got brains in boxes, and it just
he de-ages the Doctor so that you can, accelerated ages the Doctor so he looks like his 900 years.
Yeah,
and apparently his body shrinks and his head gets bigger, so maybe the face of both thing does make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, but like we already know what he looks like when he's much older than that because of things that happened later. It just, I don't know. Looking back on that one, it seems like there were too many ideas in too short of a time. But I will tell you that like I will forgive so much of it, because when John Sims comes back in the specials, which we'll talk about later, I think that's where he delivers his. That's where I came around on him being the Master. Just fantastic.
There are a lot of good little bits, though. I'm
sure.
My notes here. There's a weird cameo by Sharon Osbourne. That's not one of the good bits, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
Those friggin' the Time Lord collars come back.
Yeah.
We learn about the untempered schism for the first time, and like the Master, he hears the sound of drums. Which will become important later. But like the idea of the untempered schism is very Douglas Adams.
Oh, very much. Very much.
I love that. The perception filter thing is also very Douglas Adams. What grits anyway. The Master was the first person in New Doctor Who to offer someone a jelly baby.
Oh yeah.
That's just too weird. So there's the whole Lazarus episode, which I did not really care for, but it does have what's his name?
Oh, you mean the writer?
Yeah, the actor / writer.
Oh, Mark Gatiss.
Mark Gatiss, yeah. But that comes into play because Lazarus Vice has to do with the de-aging of the Doctor or whatever.
I mean, Mark Gatiss has always been a Doctor Who fan. If you've ever watched League of Gentlemen, there's a lot of Doctor Who references in that. That was his other show. But he was actor and writer on that one. But for Doctor Who, he was just the writer for Idiot's Lantern and The Unquiet Dead. And this is his first time acting in it. And I thought he did a pretty good job. But this is another episode that was I think trying to tell too big of a story in too short of a time.
Right.
Yeah.
We get some like random reference because Jack does come back for this. He's a full-fledged companion in this last three-parter.
Yep.
But it's to kind of like feed back into Torchwood.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, by the way, that this the spin-off series exists where I'm the main character.
Did you know that? Yeah. I found this really good team of people. You could watch them 10:30 on BBC Three.
But that's where we learned that he was a poster boy for some kind of face cream. I don't know, whatever. And they called him the face of Bo, and they're like, oh no, spoilers.
I know. And again, the fan community is really divided about whether whether that is the reveal that it is, or whether that was just a joke kind of thrown in, like whether that is the inevitable, the final fate
Wow.
of, because the Torchwood is built on the premise that it's not, because if that's his inevitable fate, then Torchwood, nothing has any weight. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know, cause like there's like after the Children of Earth, there's that 4th season for what was it, Showtime? I don't
Stars.
remember.
Stars Network.
Thank you.
Yes.
And it's like he is getting older, and we find out that he's living in the same periods of history over and over again. So he's like,
I guess
he's basically ageless.
Yeah, but
more or less.
I choose to believe that he's the face of the bow. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too.
Okay.
There is a random reference that he wants to meet Agatha Christie, which does take us into the next series. But before we get to that, I want to talk about Time Crash.
Okay.
Because we didn't talk about any like the Christmas specials. We didn't talk about the Children in Need specials. There's a there's a Children in Need special that aired just this last weekend that you can watch now in our show notes.
And it's very controversial, apparently.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it's so stupid. Those uniforms are not subtle. So
I haven't watched it yet, so
you have okay. I won't say anything.
Okay.
But we get our first crossover with another Doctor, but also a class of Doctor in the form of Peter Davison, literally bumping into David Tennant in the TARDIS room, who will also feature in our next podcast.
Yes.
Oh, so good. But I wish this was part of the show proper and not just some one-off that they did in Children in Need, because it's not.
It was so nice.
Is it even on any of the DVDs? I have no idea. Is there any way?
Yes, it is. It is on the David Tennant collection.
Okay, that's good to know, because it feels important, but it's like sandwiched in between the very end of this season and then the start of the next Christmas special.
Yeah, and don't worry, they're going to act together again in our next episode.
That's right. Good Omens
and
too.
I mean, oh my goodness, there's so much going on there, because at the time they recorded that, David Tennant was like dating his daughter, who in the show is his daughter, which
let's talk about Donna. Okay. She was first introduced in the previous Christmas special between his first and second seasons, which we didn't talk about because these things are weird.
Great episode.
The Runaway Bride, it's called. We learned that the Earth was formed from a what's the name of the race? I don't know. Intelligent spiders. So the
arachnid something. Yeah.
Earth was formed by an intelligent spider spaceship.
Oh my goodness, great
life
costume.
Begins on Earth because of some guy who fakes Mona Lisa paintings. Like the whole history of the Earth is just weird.
It's been Doctor Who's told it like 4 different times, so whatever.
But Donna Nova, played by the wonderful Catherine Tate,
which was
very appearance here.
This was not setting her up to be a companion, which a lot of people think. It was really supposed to be a one-off, but just they had so much fun doing it that once she was out of other commitments, they brought her back in. So
they finally were able to have a truly platonic companion for the first time in the new show.
This is maybe my favorite TARDIS crew ever.
Oh no!
I mean, it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. Oh my goodness! I mean, it's so funny, and again, it's also that these are some of the best episodes of New Who. I think you've got fantastic episodes in there. Like you've got Midnight, you've got Silence in the Library, you've got the Fires of Pompeii, you've got like just really, really good episodes already. Yeah. And then, unlike the Martha episodes, which were very good episodes, they also let Donna grow as a character.
Absolutely. And
that's where Martha would be remembered as one of the best companions now if they had given her a bit more time to grow. I really do think, because she was She's a very talented actress, but they didn't give her enough. But Donna got to do all kinds of stuff. And the Unicorn and the Wasp. Oh, that was
Right, because he mentioned he wanted to meet Agatha Christie, and so
Yeah,
again, they take
yeah,
a historical
yeah,
situation where she disappeared for several days, has no memory. Well, it turns out that there was a human that turns into a wasp, and a murder mystery, and full disclosure, I watched that episode. My friends and I went out. We were in Madison at the time.
Sure.
Went out for a night in the town. Came home, watched that episode, very inebriated. And we're like, what's going on? What there's a giant wasp. What's going on? What? And then we played Rock Band and fell asleep. But I watched it again after that, and I'm like, this makes no more sense to me sober. I don't understand this episode at all.
But it's
I don't read Agatha Christie though, but it's like a reference to all of her work. It's pretty brilliant.
So that's the episode that has quick, I need something salty, and she gives him some. What's this? It's salt. That's too salty. just you've got to shock me somehow. I love you. What? It's very,
that works very well. That
so
reminds me
good.
of his introduction to Martha, where he has to get the radiation in his body through his shoe.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
And then he's able to negate poison.
Yeah.
I love those because it's all the acting. There's no special effects. It's just the interactions, and Tennant is so good at this.
I know.
He's so good.
I love Tennant so much.
I forgot that you mentioned Fires of Pompeii. There's a callback all the way to the Dr. Dances about Volcano Day. I didn't realize.
Oh, you really?
Watching it back, because it's so many years apart. Watching it back to back, it was a lot more obvious.
He does reference it too. It's it's Volcano Day, and I was like, ah, yeah. I remember when I was watching it the first time.
And the ground shaking, and everyone goes to their positions. I'm like, oh, this is like Mary Poppins, which is Mary Poppins is a Time Lord, right? We've all agreed on that.
Obviously,
I mean, she's Missy.
Yes,
Missy's like an evil Mary Poppins. Anyway,
sure.
Jumping too far ahead. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. The Santaran ones were fun.
Yeah.
Although maybe not particularly memorable, but it was nice. But I'm so happy they brought back the Santarans just because of everything they do with the next Doctor.
Yes.
Yes. Very, very happy. But the Santaran stratagem and the Poison Sky, tech billionaire, cars that have lower emissions were tricked to. I don't know. It is what it is. Midnight. I want to talk about Midnight. Midnight is an episode that is. I mean, it's just a character piece that is it's just amazing. The acting is it's like an old Alfred Hitchcock, but it's a one room mystery basically. Just fantastic. And then you immediately follow it with Turn Left, which is a very Donna-centric episode.
Oh, it's so good.
Which is so good. They're so just, and of course, we skipped over Silence of the Library, Forest of the Dead, which we shouldn't skip over because that's the introduction of one of Doctor Who's most popular supporting characters. We've got the introduction of River Song. And watching it after watching Other Who and going back to it is the first time I watched it, you don't know who the character is. It's kind of throwaway. You're like, that's kind of sad that she's dead.
Right.
But watching it again, you're like, that is so tragic.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't know who she is. It's just,
do you think, because even Alex Kingston herself has sort of teased this, do you think that there's a chance that River meets the 14th Doctor because she would have no idea it's a different one? Because she even mentions you're younger than I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
Which if she's never seen that face before, why would she say that?
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
No, but what I mean, obviously it could, because I've never seen you this young, but she knew it was the Doctor. So it does make a lot of sense, and I mean, the rumor is that Moffat is back writing for the new season, but I don't think anything's ever been confirmed.
Why wouldn't he be? They're hanging out together. I'm sure that they're all involved.
Well, I know, but for a long time he said that he wouldn't come back to write because he said that would be kind of, like going back, moving backwards. But it's he completely owns the rights to River Song though. She won't come back without him, and I want that character to come back.
I didn't realize. I did not know that was okay.
River Song has never been in a non-Moffat episode, ever. He's written every episode for her. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this season, the arc was missing planets.
Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, you might miss it.
Yeah.
But when they talk about the lost moon of Poosh,
Yep.
in was it Utopia? You said.
Was it Utopia?
No, not Utopia. Sorry, I skipped right over it.
Midnight. It's definitely Midnight. It's in Midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh wait.
Yep.
Something's up here because it's very subtle earlier, and this. I wish it were better. So this is the 45th anniversary of Doctor Who. They advertised it as a companion reunion episode, and the whole time, like leading up to this, you see little ghosts and glimmers of Rose.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
what? And she sounds funny. Apparently it was just cold. She didn't have a lot of mouth surgery. Whatever. Because she sounds fine later. But Rose shows up again. Harriet Jones shows up again.
Yeah.
Martha shows up for a little bit, I think, right?
Yep, Martha's in there.
Jack's there.
Sarah Jane Smith is there.
Sarah Jane Smith.
Right.
And
her
I heard that
gaggle.
her show. Yep. And Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
And her son.
Yep. I mean,
K9.
Everybody's
there.
Yeah. Mickey's there,
I guess. Poor Mickey.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot. You got Davros,
Oh, by the way, Davros comes back.
Oh yeah.
So we
Gwen Cooper's in it. Like by this time, most of Torchwood is dead, but the survivors are there, and even the ones who didn't survive, they're mentioned. So this is the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's like we've talked about this cinematic universe, and no, this isn't the Avengers. This is the Avengers 2. Because the Avengers, I feel like the first Avengers movie you could kind of get if you hadn't seen the other stuff. But Avengers 2, you can get the basic plot, but you're missing out on half of it if you haven't been following the movies. Because I did not get the Sarah Jane Adventures references. I got all the Torchwood ones.
Right. I hadn't watched the Sarah Jane, because there was... Hey guys, did you know that there was really still, even at this point, not really a legal way of watching Doctor Who in the States? Did you know that?
Yeah?
Just putting that out there.
No.
How did you watch it?
Wasn't it on BBC America at that point? I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was.
It might have been.
That's not how I watched it, but yeah. True.
So Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah. But there was no way. There was no way to watch Sarah Jane Adventures except through... I think you could individually buy the episodes off Apple TV. I think you could individually buy the episodes.
That's possible.
It's possible. Because
did it have an iPhone? I didn't
have an iPhone. I don't know, but I was wondering how I could watch the show, and I went into my Apple account and I had bought them all. So, but I don't know if I bought them when they were first airing or later on when I was coming back to watch. I don't remember, but I'm like, I bought these. I could check my old receipts, but I think there was a way to watch them. But anyway, very few people would have done it.
We gotta wrap this up so we can get to our next one. But I wanted to mention a couple of things.
Sure.
So the other thing was the Dr. Donna, right? And then he has to leave her.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go
Sure.
Oh, I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah.
So Donna survives, but if she ever sees him again, her mind will burn, as he says.
Yep.
And she's in these specials,
Yep.
the 60th anniversary specials with the
A little
14th
bit.
Doctor. So we don't know how that's going to get resolved, or if she's going to end very tragically. We know that Wilf's in it for a little bit. Bernard Cribbins, before he passed, filmed some scenes.
That's right.
So we'll see how this resolves. But this is the end of his regular season stuff.
Yep.
At this point, so Davros is back. The Daleks are back. They will never go away, it seems, despite this time war.
Yep.
We have a series of specials. We didn't mention the Christmas specials very much, but he gets to be in 5 of these, dude. The Christmas Invasion, Runaway Bride, the Starship Titanic one, the next
Starship.
Doctor.
I love how you're saying Starship.
What was it called?
It was called
Space-
Voyage of the Damned.
Voyage of the Damned.
But like Starship Titanic was a Douglas Adams
I know,
video
but
game, but I know.
it's
But
gotta be why
it's
they
the
did
same
that,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
The next Doctor, where they teased, it's another Cyberman episode, but they teased like the regeneration thing, because we knew it
goodness.
was coming.
We knew he was going to regenerate, but I was like, "There, what? It's happening now? Okay."
Right.
Because this is before everything was spoiled, and I wasn't trying to get spoilers, so I'm like, "Is this the?" It's very wink, wink, and then Planet of the Dead, really amazing one, teasing a possible new companion. Nope.
And never see her again.
Same with Voyage of the Damned. Kylie Minogue, who made
Yeah, but it's Kylie Minogue.
I know, but she would have been great.
She would have been great. She was brilliant, as he
She
would have
was
said.
wonderful.
And then, Alfonso gets introduced, and he hooks him up with Jack. Anyway,
Sure.
Is it Alonzo? Alonzi
Yeah.
Alonzo. He
Yeah.
always wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Alonzi
Yeah.
Alonzo. Like, no, your name isn't. No, I didn't get it. I was like, why? Why is that funny? Because he always wanted to say Alonzi Alonzo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's 4 Christmas specials. What's the 5th? End of Time Part 2.
Yep. Well, I mean,
So angry.
we skip Waters of Mars, which is too bad
Right.
because it's the best episodes, I think.
It is.
But intensely tragic.
Intensely tragic.
Like
They introduced the idea of a fixed point in time with the fires of Pompeii.
so, it's actually very important because the whole idea of these specials is the Doctor's running away from his inevitable fate, and it really sets it up well. The main running companion is Wilf, which I
wonderful. Because he's introduced in which one is he introduced in?
A Voyage of the Damned.
It is Voyage of the Damned. Oh yeah,
Yep.
because he's on Earth. He's
Yep.
in that shop.
Yep.
And then
He
the
sees
spaceship's going to
yep.
crash and destroy everything.
Yep.
Almost
Yep.
hits Buckingham Palace.
Yep.
Doesn't.
Yep.
Lots of crashed spaceships during his run.
Indeed. End of Time. End of Time.
I hate the End of Time.
Really?
Again. So I mentioned earlier how the seams were starting to show, like he was like writing too many things at once. Like there's some clever bits, but like the overall plots are ridiculous. Like, so the Master comes back. They teased it, right? He dies. He doesn't want to regenerate, so he just often dies. That happens apparently. It's very sad. But they tease at the end. They like grab his ring, and there's a cackle. I think. Is it Anthony Ainley's cackle? They use his cackle at some point.
Something like that, yeah.
During one of those reintroductions. But anyway, so you know that the Master's coming back. I didn't know it was going to be John Sim. Didn't know he was going to turn into an energy leech that can like Iron Man his way around the planet and shoot energy out of his hands and hop around like a maniac. Like, I didn't enjoy that. It was just so bad. It looked bad. It was stupid.
I liked everything about End of Time except the plot. But like John Sims gives a powerhouse performance. You feel sympathy for him. Like there's that.
But he's not a cartoon. Yes.
There's that. Okay. Well, there's
but he's
that.
not.
There's the
he's
bit
not
where
Dr. what's his face?
There's the bit where
Will.
where Wilf grabs his revolver and tries to give it to the doctor. Like you've got
no.
so many great moments, and then eventually the doctor dies from his greatest of foes, a power lock. Like, and then of course the 4 knocks are not what we assume them to be, and it's sad, and he kind of breaks good guy character for a moment there, which seems a little out of character. Yeah.
The only part I liked about this 2-parter was he will knock 4 times.
Yep.
The bit where the doctor he jumps from a friggin' escape pod or whatever and lands face first into this floor, like that whole scene afterwards with him and the master and the revolver. Okay, I got to mention the thing where like Wilf tries to give him the revolver, he says no, and like to mention the Time Lords are coming back. It's like, all right, I got it. No, I'll take the gun. So that whole thing, and then the bit with Wilf, those are the only good parts. Like everything is kind of forgiven because of those moments. Like I feel like he wrote those moments first and like backfilled the rest of the story.
I feel like he had Timothy Dalton on contract and was like, we got to find a place to put him in. But like they really should have given that guy a spit guard. Oh my goodness, the saliva that man produced. Oh my! It was
so good though. I would have said Timothy Dalton is like beneath Doctor Who, but I did watch him in 3 seasons of the Doom Patrol.
There you go.
It ends in him telling Jane that he wants her to eat him because he loves her. It's just so good. You should watch the Doom Patrol.
I should.
Oh, which also has Missy.
Oh, really?
Michelle Gomez. Very good.
Where can I watch the Doom Patrol?
Max, HBO Max.
Okay.
Sorry, because it's DC. It's a DC comic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's just so much to say and no time to say it.
I feel like we may have bit off more than we could chew doing 4 seasons in an episode.
Yeah, I really do. There's the Doctor's like goodbye tour to all his companions and stuff. He even sees Rose again from before they first meet.
Why not?
Because why not?
Sure, bring her back.
It was a pretty sweet moment though. It's like I think you're gonna.
It's
the Christmas Eve or sorry, it's New Year's Eve.
I think you're gonna have a great year. Yeah,
you're gonna have a great year. Yeah. That was pretty good. I don't know. Great Doctor. I'm glad he's coming back. The reasons why he's coming back with his face make sense in context, but we got like 3 more Doctor Who podcasts to talk about before we can make any sense of that.
So, in the pantheon of Doctor Who's, where would you place David Tennant?
So here's the thing, right? I talked to the Casual Trek folks, and they said that they are cool with us stealing their bit about having a big ol' ranking.
Yeah.
We don't have anything on our list, though. So the only thing we have is Eccleston. So
better than.
Better than?
Better than.
You're going to go right there.
I'm going to go right there. Better than. Can I go way better than?
Sure. Okay. I thought we were going to have a big fight about this, but I'm probably not going to disagree with you ultimately. I did want to say that I feel like Eccleston's, because it's only 1 season, right? It's very tight, like very, very well done. It is the best written Doctor Who season.
It's definitely the tightest.
It's the tightest. It isn't bogged down in like the legacy of the show yet.
It
where this
knows
it
knows where it's going and it gets there. If that makes sense, like and later on they're like, oh, I know where we want to go. Oh, but what we gotta but we did that. So to get there, we have to go around here and the life force is in my shoes. Yeah. So
I hate End of Time so much.
I didn't mind it
so much.
I didn't mind it, but it's yeah, it
It helps that there's so much good Doctor Who, but you're right. Like we have all the great episodes, the groundbreaking stuff, the new things, the Moffat stuff, the Chibnall stuff, what was the other guy with the C word name? Family of Blood.
yeah. Oh, Paul Cornell.
Paul Cornell. Yeah. So there's just too much here to not be like, yes, this is what set the stage for this era of Doctor Who, and it is the best. And despite that Jodie Whittaker technically held the title longer, but like in the middle didn't get to do a lot of Doctor Whoing. This is just the most Doctor Who produced of one character in the new show. So yeah, I agree. Like him 1, Eccleston 2, and nothing in between because we only have 2 things on the list. So.
And like, I mean, and this is peak Moffat, I think. Like, even though like he becomes the showrunner for the next Doctor, I think he's better writing fantastic episodes within someone else's grand plan, because when he has a plan, it goes all off the rails. So
oh boy, I don't know if I agree with that, but that's another episode.
Ooh, okay.
Boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
All right then. I guess until next time. No, we don't do that on this show. We just end it. It's just over. And we play
It's over.
It's over.
Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of Two Boobs Watch the Tube. If you would like to support these boobs, please subscribe. Like us on iTunes and tell a friend. If you want to give us a big push up, donate to the Famicom Dojo Patreon found in the show notes. There you can also find info about sponsoring an episode, and also info about the other great shows, and one bad one, on the Nerd and Tie Network. Until next time, keep it classy.
All right.
Oh, good